Hello, West Ham Network. I hope you're all well. It's Holly, and today we're going to be having a little chat about Graham Potter's start to his time at West Ham. So let's go. Hello, West Ham Network. Now it's time to talk about Potter. So drop us a comment with your thoughts on the new head coach's time so far at the club and hit that thumbs up button before we get started because it goes a long old way to helping to support the channel. So we know that at West Ham, as a club, as a squad, as a team, as individuals, we've got a lot of things to fix. Things that have built up over multiple seasons and they've just crept into our game. And suddenly you take a little bit of a look from a distance and you go, we've got a lot of problems. I don't quite know where we start with all of that, but that is what we're hoping Potter can do. However, goes without saying, it's not something you can just come in and fix overnight. So that's why we're not really seeing that new manager bounce, because it's not just a lack of leadership or a new manager that's needed. We've got confidence issues, ability issues, structural issues, tactical issues. There's a whole range of problems. And ultimately, it leads to a big old mess that needs untangling, and it's not going to happen very quickly. But that's why, despite what you would also call terrible form right now, the general feeling is that we're okay, we're feeling optimistic, and we remain patient. I think that says a lot about the faith that we do currently have in Potter and hopefully what he can bring to West Ham, but also just in realising that things have been a slippery slope. Even when we were performing well under Moyes, bad sides to our game had crept in from the negative style of play against teams that we should be battering. And then under Lopetegui, obviously, like we couldn't really see what we were trying to do. And now it's just quite a mess. So what is Potter working on? That's the first question. And how is this going to help us to improve? So we're already seeing changes that he's making and signs of things that are starting to work, which is something that we couldn't see under Lopetegui. We can already spot the vision that Potter's got, which gives us confidence. And it definitely makes me feel a lot more comfortable to wait and see what happens. We all got about 5 games in under Lopetegui, giving him the patience, giving him the time, but it became evident that he didn't quite know what he was trying to do, and that scared me. And that was the point at which I was like, I don't know if this is the guy for us, because I don't even know what he's trying to do, let alone trying to buy into it. And I think that Potter is working on more of a long-term plan to get us back to where we need to be. It might look a little bit less flashy and a bit less exciting at times because it's got to be done slowly, but I also feel like these are steps that need to be done for us to actually end up in a position where we're a good team again, and not just a good team, but a good squad. And we've got a good ethos and a good work ethic and a good future as well. So he's starting by just getting us, good Lord, I just got something under my contact lens. He's starting by getting us more organised. I look like I'm just crying about Graham Potter now. Fantastic. He's making players work hard and be together, which is something we've not seen in a while. We've seen him going with the players to go and clap the fans, and it just feels like a better all-round squad, like we're trying to work as a team again. And it means a lot to us as fans, doesn't it? When they come and clap, it just shows that they care, even when you're not having good performances. I think the players just walking off and you're not seeing them again until the next bad performance, it hurts, doesn't it? It's something that we're all so invested in. So it means a lot to see them coming to appreciate the fans, that we are ultimately, I suppose, the life of the club, the ones that support them through thick and thin. And it just feels like they care a little bit more than they have in recent seasons. And then in terms of getting players on side and understanding what makes each individual work best, this is something that Potter excels in, and it's something that I'm expecting him to do really well with us. It's going to take time again, but in terms of man management, the psychology behind it, we know that he's good at this, and it just feels like the communication's already better than we have had recently. And it looks as though in his long-term plan, his first priority is to stop us leaking goals. Now, we know our defence is nowhere near what it needs to be, but we are seeing us slowly tighten up defensively. We've not conceded anywhere near as many goals as we were before Potter. In his last 6 games, we've conceded 10 goals, but then in the last 2 games under Lopetegui, we actually conceded 9. So we're not getting absolutely battered by sides. That's the one thing I would say. While some of the performances haven't been like oh, wow, this is what Lopetegui's bringing, we're also not losing 3-0, 4-0, 5-1, whatever the scorelines were. We're not losing by like multiple goals, not embarrassing scorelines. We know we've still got a very long way to go. We definitely need to strengthen our defence in general, but also in the summer with new signings. But it just feels as though that is something that we're just starting to sort out and get a little bit more organised. And I think those steps, just mastering that, is going to take us pretty much to the end of the season. And then we're going to start being able to create more chances and finish them. But given our current list of injuries, as well as the need to bring in reinforcements in the summer transfer window, Potter does not have an easy job on his hands. I don't envy him one bit. There's a real mess to clean up here. And it's all while managing a side that's pretty low on confidence, which does bring a lot of more challenges. We're seeing players not wanting to take people on that do have the technical ability to do it, but are frightened to do it. So hopefully Potter can just bring the most out of these players and get people playing their own games, the ways that they perform best. We're using the youth as well, which is something that we've wanted to see for a while. And I've got to say, the players that have stepped up, they really have stepped up. Like, they've shown what they're capable of, and they haven't looked out of place in our side, which is saying a lot about academy players that are stepping up into the Premier League, regardless of the quality currently of the players that are playing around them. To not be shown up massively does say a lot. So that's really exciting. Plus, we're hoping that Potter's going to be able to bring the best out of some of the players that we do have that either have been underperforming or haven't got much game time previously. So there's that, which can tide us over till the summer transfer window now, because as we know, we can't bring anyone else in as much as we would absolutely love to. And another thing I'm a big fan of is the fact that Potter doesn't shy away from saying things were a bit rubbish. He held his hands up and he made it clear when things weren't good enough. He obviously spoke at full time about what wasn't good enough, but how that can sometimes be part of a wiggly path to success. And I hope that that's the case. Somehow his triple substitution at half time felt a lot less scary than it did under Lopetegui. Against Brentford, he admitted that he hadn't got it right and it wasn't working in making that triple substitution. We saw it make a big difference, particularly at the beginning of the second half. But after a first half that bad, we were flattered by only having gone into the break 1-0 down, and we just couldn't do enough to get back in the game. And yeah, at full time, Potter spoke about how we played, about the performance, about that it wasn't good enough. So I've got faith, even in just his acknowledging that it wasn't good enough. It makes me feel like, okay, they're not just skirting around, not wanting to say that it was rubbish, and just trying to always put a completely positive spin on it. Sometimes you do have to say it wasn't good enough. And hearing that from the head coach makes you think, okay, cool, we're acting on this, and that he's not happy and he will change so that we can progress, make changes on the pitch so that we can progress from here. And it's clear as well that he is still working out his starting 11, which is to be understood. Like, of course, that's going to happen when we've got a very odd squad in terms of injuries and youth players, and a lot to juggle with, and working out who can perform well. Because we've got players that should be performing very well, players that have performed very well, but have been underperforming in recent months. So it can't be easy to work out who you want to play or what you can get out of those players. And yeah, it's not helped by the squad that we've got available, but time is definitely the essence. We need to see what we can do in the coming weeks, because while people have been speaking about us being clear of the relegation zone, we're a decent number of points ahead of that whole chunk of teams that are in the relegation mix. But you're never safe. They only need a few wins and we get a few losses, and suddenly things are looking very different. We don't want to get in a position where the pressure's on. We want to be able to really pull away from that now, because even if a lot of us had written off this season, we need to be in a position where we can build from. So every single game matters in terms of improving, becoming more organised and structured, working out what our roles are moving forwards, and also identifying which players are going to be a key part of next season. Because at the moment, it looks as though we need a huge rebuild. There are so many players that aren't performing or it's not working. So it's a big old task to get it all working together. But today, I'm asking for your thoughts on Potter so far. So the question I've got is, has he met your expectations at this point, and what are you expecting to see for the rest of the season? Because I know usually with a new manager, you hope for them to turn things around. I'm hoping to see more stability and starting to gradually turn things around. Realistically, I think it is going to take time for us to go, oh, look how far we've come. But I do expect to see this in the coming games. And I'm just hoping we don't see ourselves repeat the same mistakes. One of the sides of Potter's game that has been questioned previously at Brighton, at Chelsea, his ability to create chances and convert these into goals. But I do feel like it's too early at the moment to judge him on that, because we know that we don't have a squad that is good at actually being able to do these things at the moment. So you can't really perform miracles with them. because the problems that we've got, they're deep rooted from players having lost ability and confidence to them working like individuals instead of a team, and nobody following a structure within a game, and players just leaping in a halfway line when it's your centre back, and then suddenly like you're getting attacked and they're all the way up the pitch. So just things like that lack of organisation, I think have cost us, and I'm hoping that that's something that we can really, really wipe out of our game, because it's something that does concern me. And yeah, I just hope that we can look at the Brentford game and the first half in particular as an example of exactly what not to do. And we can tighten up that defence, be a bit more switched on, and make sure that it was a one-off on our journey to improvement and being a better side. But my main thought is I want to remain patient. I want to give him time. I was keen to give Lopetegui time, and even 10 games in, I could not see what he was trying to do. And at that point, I was like, I'm not sure we can put our faith in this project, because it doesn't feel like a project. It just feels like random throwing new ideas out each week. But with Potter, I feel like he knows what he wants to achieve already. He knows how he wants to get our team performing, which gives me confidence, and it gives me just the ability to sit back a bit and feel a little bit calmer about the situation. Plus, they seem to respect Potter, which again is necessary. So that's my take so far. But like I said, I want to hear yours, so drop us a comment. Up next, we've got a very big game against Arsenal. We've got a lot of work to do based on that Brentford game as well, because we can't be having that happen again. If anyone can get the team hyped up, here's hoping that Potter is the guy to do exactly that, and we can stun those Gunners. So make sure you drop us a comment with your thoughts on Potter. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And until next time, thank you so much as always for watching West Ham Network. Have a great day. Come on, you Irons. Irons, come on, you Irons.